Beneath one of the world's most heavily guarded borders, a secret war was being waged in total darkness. While the world watched the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, as a symbol of tense peace, North Korea was digging. They were building a massive, hidden network of tunnels with a single, terrifying goal: to launch a surprise attack on South Korea and capture Seoul in a matter of hours. This isn't a plot from a spy movie. It's the real, untold story of the North Korean infiltration tunnels, a war fought meters beneath the earth. The story begins after the Korean War armistice was signed in 1953. On the surface, the guns fell silent, but underground, a new conflict was just beginning. In the early 1970s, strange things started happening along the DMZ. South Korean farmers living near the border reported hearing odd rumbling noises coming from deep within the ground. Soldiers on patrol felt faint, rhythmic vibrations under their feet. At first, these reports were dismissed as paranoia or natural seismic activity. But the stories kept coming, too consistent to ignore. Intelligence agencies, both South Korean and American, also picked up on unusual seismic patterns that didn't match any known geological phenomena. Something was happening down there, but no one knew exactly what. The mystery started to unravel in November 1974. A South Korean Army patrol noticed steam rising from the ground in a specific area. This was highly unusual. They began an intensive search. After days of digging and drilling, they broke through into a void. They had discovered the first tunnel of aggression. What they found was shocking. It was a concrete reinforced tunnel, about 1 meter wide and 1.2 meters high, stretching over 3.5 kilometers. It was dug 44 meters below the surface, deep enough to be almost undetectable. Most chillingly, it was large enough for an entire regiment of soldiers, thousands of troops, to pass through every hour. Its trajectory was unmistakable. It was pointed directly toward Seoul. North Korea's plan was suddenly clear. They weren't just digging. They were building an underground highway for an invasion. When confronted with the discovery, North Korea's response was bizarre. They denied everything, claiming the tunnel was for coal mining. To support this story, the diggers had painted the walls black with coal dust. But there was no coal in the granite rock. It was a clumsy attempt at deception. The discovery of this first tunnel sent shockwaves through South Korea and its allies. The threat was no longer theoretical. If one tunnel existed, how many more were there? The answer came just a few months later. In March 1975, the second tunnel was found, this time much larger and closer to the central part of the front line. This one was big enough to accommodate heavy weaponry and even small tanks. It was clear the first tunnel wasn't an isolated project. It was part of a coordinated, large-scale military operation. Then, in 1978, came the most significant discovery yet, the third tunnel of aggression. This one was found just 44 kilometers from Seoul. It was wider, deeper, and more sophisticated than the previous two. At 2 meters high and 2 meters wide, it could move an estimated 30,000 troops per hour, along with their artillery. Located near a critical transit corridor, it was perfectly positioned to sever supply lines and isolate Seoul. This tunnel was so close to the capital that it became a major tourist attraction, a chilling reminder of how close the two Koreas came to another devastating war. Visitors today can walk through a portion of it, feeling the cold, damp air and seeing the drill marks left by North Korean soldiers decades ago. The fourth, and so far, final official discovery was made in March 1990. The fourth tunnel was found after years of painstaking detection work. Its construction was similar to the others, featuring ventilation shafts, electrical wiring, and even tracks for carts to remove rubble. The engineering was crude but effective, relying on dynamite, hand drills, and immense amounts of forced labor. So how were these tunnels built in secret? Defectors who escaped from North Korea have provided harrowing details. They speak of specialized military units dedicated to underground warfare, whose sole purpose was to dig these tunnels. The work was brutal and dangerous. Many laborers reportedly died from accidents, exhaustion, or malnutrition. They worked in near-total darkness, using explosives to blast through solid granite, then hauling the debris out by hand on small carts. The secrecy was absolute. The families of the diggers often had no idea what their true mission was. Even more unsettling is what might still be hidden. South Korean and U.S. military experts widely believe that the 4 discovered tunnels are just the tip of the iceberg. Based on the scale of the operations and defector testimonies, they estimate that as many as 15 to 20 more tunnels may still exist, crisscrossing the DMZ, lying dormant and undiscovered. These aren't just old relics of the Cold War. Some defectors have claimed that digging operations continued well into the 1980s and 2000s. Even today, soldiers stationed at the DMZ sometimes report hearing faint, inexplicable sounds from below. Modern ground-penetrating radar and seismic sensors occasionally detect anomalies that can't be explained, fueling speculation that active tunnels remain. The military response has been a constant, high-tech cat-and-mouse game. South Korea and the U.S. have invested heavily in sophisticated detection technology. They drill hundreds of intersection boreholes along the DMZ, filling them with water and monitoring for any changes in water levels, which could indicate a nearby tunnel. They use seismic sensors to listen for the telltale sounds of digging or blasting. It's a relentless, around-the-clock surveillance effort because the threat remains very real. An undiscovered tunnel could provide North Korea with the ultimate strategic advantage, the element of surprise. The tunnels beneath the DMZ represent a hidden chapter of the Korean conflict, a testament to the lengths one side was willing to go to gain an upper hand. They are a physical scar left by a war that never truly ended. The 4 tunnels that were found were discovered almost by accident. A wisp of steam, a strange noise, a defector's tip. This leaves us with a deeply unsettling question. If these 4 were found by chance, how many more remain hidden in the dark, silent and waiting, just beneath the surface? The answer is something the world may not know until it's too late. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating and chilling as we did, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into hidden history. See you next time.